this is James George with the next episode of Hobbyist to Pro. So hopefully you've been working on practicing your effects that you're going to want to implement into your show, for your close-up show. And also you're using the practice system, where you do it 12 times in a row perfectly, bump that up to 24 if you've mastered that, and take it to the next level. Because you want the mechanics and everything about any of the tricks that you're doing to be completely subconscious, second nature. You could do it in your sleep. You can do the moves without even thinking about it. You don't have to engage your conscious mind basically any longer. So that all your energy, all your focus can be on, entertainment, on the storytelling, and on how you're presenting the show so it's engaging and intriguing. And that's the other thing we want to talk about. I'll go into some concepts on showmanship, like using pattern interrupts. And that's maybe putting in a dramatic pause. And it really gets people to focus on you, and you learn to influence and control people's attention and keep their minds engaged, keep their minds focused on the story and the content of what you're telling. Their mind is not free to be working on how you're doing what you're doing in terms of the effect. You want their brain so tied up and so engaged with what you're saying that they don't have time to sit there and figure out what you're doing. There's going to be some people, that's why you really want to, that's what the purpose of the pattern and the story are really for, is to entertain and also misdirect in a lot of cases. So you want to get that mastered, you want to get that down, you want to get it under your belt. So the other thing I want to talk about is you being able to sell yourself. Because in this life, you're either going to sell or you're going to be sold. And there's going to be plenty of people selling you why you can't be a professional magician, why it's impossible. Never mind that there's really a lot of people out there who I know are making over 6 figures a year. Some of them $200,000, $300,000 a year doing professional magic, and you can be one of them. But the key to that is you're going to have to write down your goals. The first thing when you wake up in the morning every day, you should be writing down your goals. Your goals for that day, for that week, for the month, for the year. And just, scribble out anything, whatever pops into your head. Don't be critical of it, and don't limit yourself. Don't sit there and think, oh, that's ridiculous. No, write it down anyway. You have no idea of the ridiculous life you can create for yourself once you get your limiting beliefs and limiting attitudes in the garbage can where they belong and no longer holding you back. And a lot of it has to do, you only get so much energy per day, and if you're wasting it on negativity and crap and the media and the news, you're not going to be free to focus on creating more value, being more entertaining, making life better for other people, being a lot of fun, having a great reputation, and literally making this planet a better place for you having been born. You're either going to be a detriment to this world or you're going to be a contributor. We all have that choice to make, and how many years I wasted wallowing around in negativity. I'm just as guilty as anybody, and playing the victim role, blaming everything on my dad, and my childhood wasn't great, blah blah blah. Who cares? At some point it's time to take out the garbage and create a great life. And I know with my dad, the only reason he was the way he was is because his dad taught him that. He didn't choose it. No one chooses really the way they are, but once you're a grown adult, that's when your choice comes. Is, am I going to live by all this crap that I've been told about myself and all this garbage I feed myself every day, or am I going to sit there and change my mind? I want to be one of the best magicians in the world. I want that to happen in 5 years. I want to have my own magic TV show. I'm going to start my own YouTube channel. What are your dreams and goals for this? What are you going to do that's going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives? Because what I find is, that the more successful people are is typically that they're less selfish. They want to give more. They want to do greater things. They want to make their show more exciting. They want to make it more entertaining. And you know, how can you do that? And if you're starting to write down some ideas, you start to brainstorm, put your comments below. And you know, let's have a brainstorm session in the chat below this video. You know, there's nothing that would excite me more. And that's when the ball really gets rolling. I need you guys to be engaged in this channel, and I want it to grow. I need your help to tell other magicians about it, and you know, the valuable content that's here, and we're going to continue to give you. You know, I've got thousands and thousands of these videos I plan on making until this topic of what to do to become, you know, starting out as a beginner, just learning the ball base, to taking it all the way up to, you know, the most complicated card moves, and you know, memorizing an entire pack of cards, which I have mastered myself. The, you know, the one Temereth stack, we may cover that. I came up with a clever way to memorize it that I can teach you guys in a future episode. So, but look forward to that. You know, I've got a lot of things planned, but let's get, you know, I want to get the subscribers up to 1,000. You know, I need your help with that. I'm also, you know, I've got some new things I'm working on website-wise. We're overhauling our website right now. I'm updating that. And just lots of great plans. I kind of pulled everything in and just did shows for the last 5 years, and we just kind of, you know, did our magic business through the major distributors there in the US and let them handle everything. But yeah, so your questions, your comments. The other thing I have planned for you guys in the next episode, I'm actually going to pack myself as if I'm doing my show. I'll show you how I have everything packed in my jacket, how I, you know, go from one pocket to another. And that's the other thing. Not only, you know, maybe you have 10 tricks you're going to get mastered before you go out there to market yourself and get shows, but I want you to also rehearse moving from one routine to the other so it goes smoothly and your transitions aren't, you know, with this gap where you lose people's focus and attention. Your show should be a continuous, super funny, entertaining, engaging, magical, mystical experience for your audience, you know, and they should be having a lot of fun, a lot of great laughs, surprise, great audience reactions. And you know, how are you going to make that happen? And that's what we're going to solve. So the other effect that I want to cover that's just a must if you're a beginner, and that's getting an invisible deck of cards. The invisible deck's great. And the reason you're going to want to pick this up is if you're working on some really difficult card stuff, maybe that requires a lot of sleight of hand, you totally mess it up. The invisible deck can save you, because any card the spectator names ends up reversed in this pack. And it's really clever how it works. If you haven't seen it, you know, I recommend maybe, yeah, having a friend who's a magician show it to you, because it's one of those tricks that you really should be fooled by and be able to enjoy just the pure mystery of it. And that's why I'm not going to give it away today. I'll give it away in a future episode. Maybe 20 or 30 videos on forward and teach it. But for now, yeah, this is something you're going to want to add to your show, or go to the magic shop and pick one up, you know, because you need it. You definitely need it if you're going to become a professional magician. And I know a lot of the professional magicians are going to say, why are you recommending the invisible pack? What we're doing now is we're building your foundation. This is not the place you're going to stay. And you know, but you want to have some powerful tricks that are easy to do, to stand on, and that happens to be one of them, even in spite of someone who might be critical of that. And it's just a reality. It gets a great reaction, it's a powerful trick, and it's really hard to beat. You know, same with the thumb tip. We'll be covering the thumb tip, I'll be covering the handling on that, and yeah, it's something you definitely want to add to your show. And yeah, fortunately where I live here in India, it hasn't been overexposed. You know, in the US, a lot of people already know about it. So it can be difficult for you, but I can show you some stuff. You know, J. Scott Berry taught me a lot of stuff in his lecture, and I'll share some of that with you guys in terms of the handling. Because I've even had people say, oh wow, I saw a guy do that, but he used one of those rubber thumbs. And that's kind of what, you know, even the people who know how it might be done are saying something like that to you, and it's go like, wow, yeah, that's awesome. I even fooled this guy and he knows how it works. That's what you want to be doing. You want your magic at that level. And that's the other thing. So my own story, what really turned my whole life around, what got me to take action on inventing the ITR was a friend of mine had given me this Anthony Robbins course. It was brand new, it just came out. I think it was about 1980 something, 86 or something, he gave it to me. So I ended up implementing that and taking massive action. But one thing I did with that program that most people probably didn't do, maybe that's why they didn't get great results with it, but I told myself in the very beginning that I'm going to do 3 times as much as Anthony asked me. If he asked me to do 1 thing, I'm doing 3 things. If he asked me to do 10 things, I'm doing 30 things. So I kind of 3x'd his whole program. And maybe that's what made the difference for me. Most people weren't committed to it. I totally committed to it. I told myself I'm not going to question anything he tells me. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to practice it. But there were some problems I ran into by that, and I'll go into that later on. That's kind of a long story. But yeah, you want to be thinking about that. But that's what got me off my ass, taking action, building the prototype for the ITR, getting it on the market. I had the idea since I was 14 years old. I knew about Uri Geller, and I heard that he could levitate objects and bend spoons and do all this stuff. But I wanted to be able to do a levitation where I could make the object float in the air and then walk away. I figured that way they know there's no string attached to me, and there must be no string attached to the object because I waved my hands, all around the object before. So the ITR was the solution to that problem, and I had that in my head at about 14, but I knew nothing of the raw materials that would be required. We'd opened up that magic shop in Sacramento, and we'd ordered in this trick by David Britland, and I think it was called Elastrix. It was just a little booklet, and it came with the elastic. I actually have some on my wrist right here, and it had a lot of different tricks in it. It had some rising card, haunted pack, a bunch of different tricks that you could do with this elastic thread, and it came with some of this in it. And I noticed that with that material you could stretch it about 5 times its length, and I got to thinking about the real idea, and I kind of put it together, and I had this wind-up toy when I was a kid, and for some reason something told me to sock that away in the back of my mind, that it would be important in my future. Don't ask me why or how. But anyway, so I kind of put that together, and then I found some nylon thread. And so eventually, I played with a few different prototypes. We finally got it working. The first one I made worked perfectly. And man, this was an exciting time in my life. I mean, everything was about to change. I mean, dramatically. I was working part-time at UPS. I worked there for about 2 years. I was making about $8 an hour. And just overnight, I'm making more in 1 month than most people are making in a year, And not only that, but I found that I was like compressing time. It was like time was slowing down for me because I was able to get so much done. I started to build an organization, and that's when I realized that my success really didn't depend on the ITR. It was more about the timing. It was about being at the right place at the right time with the right idea. I mean, Copperfield was doing the floating rose on TV, which gave me $1 million advertising promotion for free because my product just happened to be a great solution to that, to Kevin James' floating rose routine. I recommend that. That's a great routine for your stage show. Just beautiful, beautiful construction. It's sentimental and it has a lot of emotional value. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I guess that's the point. The point is it was more a product of who I became than it was depending on some external factor. Everyone's going to be out there trying to convince you that success is about something outside of you. And I'm here to tell you, no, that's just not true. It has everything to do with what's inside of you and and who you become. You have to ask yourself, who are you going to sell yourself that you are as a person, or you're going to be sold. You're going to be sold to be a resource for someone else's dreams, or you're going to sell yourself to be a resource for your own dreams and your own wealth and your own success in your own life. And it's up to you. You get to make the choice. Are you going to learn to sell, or are you going to learn, or are you just going to be sold? I can sell you on the idea that you have ADHD, you've got some other mental problem, all these reasons I can create and sell you on why you can't be a professional magician. as I'm sure your friends and family will do, you know. But never mind the fact that there's people out there making great money, you know, doing exactly this. You know, Copperfield's going to be a billionaire, but no, you can't make money being a magician. It's not a viable or real career, you know. So don't buy into that, you know. Just don't buy into that. It's up to you. It's up to your mind, your thinking, and what you're going to put into this. And most of all, you know, it's really, honestly, and this is the other aspect to it, is not being afraid to take action even though you're afraid to take action, you know. Learning to say yes to all the opportunities that come your way. Don't create excuses in your head why you can't do it. Dig in there and fail. Fail big if it means that, but learn something from it and learn what you can do better, you know. Fail forward fast. That's what you need to do. So I want you writing down your goals. This is kind of your assignment for tonight. Writing down your goals when you go to bed, write more goals when you wake up in the morning. I find that's kind of a powerful time. If you do it at night, your brain kind of can work on it while you're sleeping, and then in the morning you'll have even more ideas. So that's why you want to do it in the evening, right when you go to bed, and the first thing when you wake up in the morning. And that's kind of an idea I came up with. And because your brain's going to be able to sit there and work on it and give you even more ideas. And so do that. And in the next episode, we will be, I'll be going through, I'll have my jacket, I'll have it all packed for my close-up show, and I'll just kind of run through how my close-up show goes. You know, I won't really have an audience here, but that's okay, because I want to talk about what's happening, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It won't really be a real performance per se, but it'll just give you some idea. I mean, my goal right now, I want at least by the 10th episode, you've got a show in your, that's dialed in. You have about 10 effects, because in the next 10 episodes after the 10th episode, we're going to be digging into how to market yourself, how to sell your show, getting a videographer to record your show, creating a demo, creating a YouTube promo video that you can send to prospects and clients, and also developing kind of just a portfolio of who you are, shows you've done, clients you've had. Obviously it might not be much in the beginning, maybe a couple birthday parties or family events, but you start where you're at, so don't worry about it. And we'll be digging into what it takes to get other people marketing you too, and bringing you a lot of shows. So I think that wraps up this episode. I hope this has been some valuable content. I look forward to your remarks below, and also please, support our Patreon channel. We do some really great things with the money here with the Rotary Club in India, and I'm going off to Calcutta this Friday. So we're doing a show with a big magic convention that's actually through the Rotary Club up there. So and I did another Rotary Club show at Guntakal. We do a lot of Rotary Club's really big in India, and they do just some really wonderful things. So if you sign up with Patreon, know that your money's going to a good place, and it'll also help us buy more equipment and do things for them, and help them with their, any problems they might be having. So thank you guys, namaste, and look forward to the next episode. This is James George signing off.